Want to stay informed, get educated, and feel empowered? Stay tuned where information is power.
Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Welcome to Eddie-Fication, made possible by the efforts of the Center for Democracy and Good Governance, CDGG. The Center for Democracy and Good Governance is a sound organization established to promote and strengthen democracy.
I want the best for my family, so every meal has to be perfect. Every bite has to say, There's no doubt in my mind that the best in frozen meats and vegetables has to come from the Country Cold Store. Hams, turkeys, sausages, beef, pork, chicken. I just don't know my family is in safe hands. Thank you, Country Cold Store, for being there for us for the past 40 years.
There are some interesting specials available at Country Cold Store's Mini Mart while stocks last. Take advantage of these specials as they assist you to stretch your limited funds.
The Country Cold Store, providing the best in frozen meats and vegetables since 1969.
Need a personal integrity booster shot? Your prescription is right here. Tune in with Eddie Frederick every week. Information is power.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure, you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. If you think training is expensive, try not training, and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
Eddie Frederick has got it all.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're listening to Eddie Frederick, where good values make great radio.
Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Wonderful, folks. It's such a plum-pleasing pleasure to be
On
with
account
you once more. This is just, it's so lovely to be above ground. And so many of us are so ungrateful that we wake up and we can't even say a good chirpy good morning, good afternoon, hello. Mm-mm. No enthusiasm. Because from the time we awake, it's like we're sorry we wake up. It's so sad. We've become such an angry people. For what? For what? People trying to get ahead, and they will do anything to get ahead, as though life is to be lived in a hurry. Folks, life is to be lived seeking peace so that you can be led to happiness. Welcome to Edification 275. As we take time today to explore time, weakness, wisdom, and war, and how they depend on the personality type to determine how they are applied. Isn't that interesting? Our topic for this week's milestone edition 275 is Time Destroys the Weak. Win with wisdom, not war. We don't have to look too far to see how our current Prime Minister, for instance, the decent Deacon Mitchell, how he rolls. He has absolutely no time for small talk. No attention is given to trite and puerile nonsense. He does not banter. You can see he's really into a different type and style of leadership. His silence and refusal to get sucked into the lolly drain with all the drakes of the other side must infuriate them indeed. To the point where I heard one say the other day, a fussy feely better than people. I had to just roll back my eyes and laugh. His silence annoys them to no end. Picture yourself being from humble beginnings, never socialized through trauma and abuse, but socialized by love. Brought up poor to remain humble and painfully polite because you had the luxury of a grandmother's presence in your life. God graced you with the opportunity to attend university, to continue to exercise the intelligence you were blessed with, that you did something about, finished at the top of your class, returned home, and from day one, you started to excel in your profession. What is that called, folks? Folks, that is called focus. And focus helps one to move mountains, molehills, and other obstacles from his or her path. I learned a long time now that intelligent people don't waste time hating others. They hate shallow noises. And so they avoid mixing because they fear being mixed up. They detest the following and more. Listen to these things that they detest. Small talk. To them, it feels like mental sandpaper. They crave depth, not other people's affairs and the weather updates, which of course they know how to find on their own. They spot hidden agendas fast because it drains them. They analyze everything, even the fake laughs. Don't talk about groupthink. That disgusts them. They would rather think alone than agree blindly. Their mind is so loud that silence to them is sacred. They don't need approval, so they don't chase it. Time is fuel, so they will never burn it to blend in. They are constantly filtering their thoughts. Most people cannot handle unfiltered truth. And to intelligent people, dumbing themselves down feels like betrayal. You see, emotional manipulation, it is easier in groups, and intelligent minds, they sense it and they step out before it even begins. Our current Prime Minister, Deacon Mitchell, falls in the category of the intelligent and hence suffers no insecurities that would cause him to fall for the bait to enter the gutter. He's focused. Come on, folks. Drop an amen in the comments if you agree. Come on, let me see those amen. Drop an amen in the comment section. Our angel number for this week's program, 275, folks, is a combination of the energies and attributes of 2, 7, and 5. You see, the number 2 represents balance, harmony, and adaptability, while the number 7 symbolizes spirituality, inner wisdom, and enlightenment. You see, the number 5 represents change, transformation, and of course, growth. Together, these numbers encourage you to trust in your intuition and have faith that everything will work out for the best, even if you don't understand the bigger picture right now. Folks, as soon as you come into the room today, please, please, please remember to share. Remember to comment, like, love, and interact as you normally do. Our topic for this week's milestone edition 275 is time destroys the weak. Win with wisdom, not war. So let's talk about a raw truth. Time isn't just passing, folks. While it is passing, it is testing you. It is exposing who's weak, who is unprepared, who is built on ego instead of strategy. Time is exposing all the narcissists among us. And here is the hard lesson. Time destroys the weak. Oh, yes. Not because it is cruel, but because it is honest. The undisciplined, oh man, they crumble. The impatient, they burn out. The reckless, they lose before they even realize the game has changed. But you see, the wise adapt. They don't fight time, they leverage it. They don't wage war on circumstances, they outthink them. They outthink their circumstances. Because while warriors bleed in battles of force, strategists win wars before they're even fought. That's the difference between surviving and dominating. So ask yourself, are you grinding or are you growing? Are you reacting or are you preparing? Every second is a choice to either be a casualty of time or a conqueror of it. Win with wisdom, folks, not war. Because time bows to those who master it. Stay sharp, stay ready, and you must rise. Let me tell you why weak minds, weak habits, and even weak hunger get erased by time. If you are in the habit of paying attention, right? If we are in the habit of paying attention, we do not have to look too far for examples of the many who have been erased by time. They're all around us. But you see, the clock goes tick, tock, tick, tock. Every second you waste on excuses, that's the universe giving you your spot, taking away that spot from you and giving it to somebody else, somebody who is hungrier than you. Every day you choose distractions over disunity or destiny, that's time firing you from your own future. You see, too many of us choose distractions over our actual destiny. But look at how time will reward you. It will fire you from your future. You see, the clock doesn't care about your feelings. It only crowns those who command it. You think this is motivational? No. This is just a warning, folks. Time ain't your coach. It is the executioner of the unready. While you're stuck in someday or one day, your competition is trading sleep for supremacy. While you're complaining, they're calculating. Weakness isn't a sin, but staying weak, that is suicide in slow motion. And God knows a lot of people around here are qualified to be on suicide watch. Look at the number of opportunities on offer and readily available for gainful employment right now in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, all 3 islands. And match that with the number of able-bodied people who are telling you they are seeing trouble and catching hell because they are not working and can't find a job. The truth is, they do not want any real job. They want the old days of handouts to return so they can rip the country's coffers and do nothing in return for it. They loved their stagnant positions on the vote farm. But things have changed, and they can't stand that truth. That there is a new sheriff in town. They can't stand that. But here's your weapon, folks. Wisdom. Not motivational fluff, strategic fury. Wisdom is when you turn pain into leverage. When you turn haters into fuel to get you moving. When you let fools fight in the mud while you build empires from the high ground. While you ignore the occupants of the lolly drain and all the naysayers, and you proceed on your path to upward mobility. So I need you to ask yourself right now, are you feeding your weakness or starving it to death? Time's already got the blade to your neck. What are you going to do about it? Folks, you need to win the war before it starts or get buried by the clock. It's your move. I want to make a call to action to you folks. No weakness. I am strong and ready for action. And I'm going to share this with you because I want you to put that down as an affirmation today. Put it in the comment section. Put it in your heart. And let's make it happen, folks. Because we have to start getting positive once more, starting with ourselves. We have to start affirming positive things so that they can manifest in our lives. No weakness. I am strong and ready for action. So let me see you put that in the comment section, folks. Let's see who's built for this. Because time destroys the weak. I want you to win with wisdom, not war. Because if you stop to throw stones after every barking dog on your journey, you either will never reach or you will not reach on time. Let's take a little break and we'll come back with a lot more. A lot more.
Want to stay informed, get educated, and feel empowered? Stay tuned where information is power.
Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
This is Edification, made possible by the efforts of the Center for Democracy and Good Governance, CDGG. The strength of views and opinions expressed during edification are not necessarily a reflection or representation of the sponsors and/or affiliates of this program.
Hurricane season is now upon us, so So we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're tuned to Eddie Frederick, where information is power.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Okay, folks, just give me a quick little minute here. I'm on time.
Want to stay informed, get educated, and feel empowered? Stay tuned, where information is power.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
This is Edification, made possible by the efforts of the Center for Democracy and Good Governance, CDGG. The strength of views and opinions expressed during edification are not necessarily a reflection or representation of the sponsors and or affiliates of this program.
Hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
All right, sorry about that, but I needed to do what I was doing there. I'm a one-man show, so, and I'm not so technologically versatile, so to speak. But anyhow, be that as it may, we're back. For those of you just joining, I want to say thank you for joining. And you do the honorable thing. As soon as you get into the room, just hit that share button and let's get the move on. Good. So as we were saying, folks, time doesn't just kill weak men. It actually erases their legacies. Bones turn to dust. Kingdoms fade to myth. But wisdom carves names into eternity. You see, the pyramids forgot their architects' faces. But Sun Tzu's art of war still wins battles 2,500 years later. That's the power move. Sparta versus Athens. You see, 300 warriors held Thermopylae with strategy, not just strength. Their sacrifice brought time for Greece to outthink and outplay Play Persia. Steve Jobs' exile. He got fired from Apple, returned with next Pixar wisdom to rebuild Apple into history's first trillion-dollar company. Nature's proof. Bamboo grows underground for 4 years before exploding 90 feet in 6 weeks. You see, weak roots equal no harvest. And that's the truth. Weak roots equal no harvest. The recon mindset, folks. You see, fools rush in. Legends observe first. When Rome attacked, Hannibal studied their formations for years, then crossed the Alps with elephants to strike their weak line. What about leverage over labor? Your 18-hour grind means nothing if you're digging the wrong tunnel. You see, Warren Buffett reads 5 hours a day to let compound interest fight for him on his investments. Could you really and truly allow anything to fight to help your investment, any compound interest, if all the time you have, you spend it mining people business? What about the deception shield? Julius Caesar wrote his own history mid-battle to control the narrative. Modern play? Let competitors underestimate you while you patent and you scale. But you see, the weakness, execution, brutal truths. Procrastination equals self-sabotage. Every delayed decision is a future ambush that you didn't prepare for. Emotion without strategy is equal to suicide, folks. Achilles dragged Hector's body in rage, then lost his own life to Paris' calculated arrows. Isolation equals death. Napoleon abandoned his generals in Russia. Frostbite ate his army alive. But you see, the time algorithm, modern mastery is important. TikTok attention span versus deep time. While others scroll, you master one skill for 10,000 hours. And what is that skill likely to be? Playing the violin, coding, persuasion. Come on, folks. AI as your archery army. Use ChatGPT or DeepSeek to simulate business battles before risking capital now, like Mongol archers testing enemy lines. You see, biological prime time? Navy SEALs sleep in 90-minute cycles. Your 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. focus window is your D-Day beachhead. The clock is either your executioner or your co-conspirator. Weakness dies screaming. Wisdom walks through walls. You want immortality? Stop begging for time. Instead, command it. Build systems that outlive you. Write truths that outlast empires. Your existence is a blink, but your impact? That's the crater you leave when wisdom strikes at light speed. Folks, I want to call you to armor, man. I trust that you're drafting your 5 to 10 year strategy today, not when life forces your hand. You see, the hour is late. The strong are ready. Which side of history will you allow to find you? I'm begging you folks to find time to develop yourself while time marches on so that you can truly grow. Get rid of weaknesses. Read, read, read. Maybe you can seek out the following books. Book of Five Rings, Miyamoto Musashi. How a duelist's mindset wins without fighting. That's interesting. The 48 Laws of Power, historical case studies of wisdom over brute force. Atomic Habits, time's compound interest on micro actions. You see, we have to learn to turn philosophy into fire. How can we do this if our only philosophy is to be attracted to the path of least resistance? Every old nonsense on offer. Many of our people are up front and center. Too many of our people's names can never be called in things that are good for them. They are always involved in activities that self-sabotage them, and they blame it on others. Always to be present in the willy stuff. Look at how we eat. Any old thing goes. We report to work in the morning, and even though we are barely on time and mostly late, it is necessary for us to still go out to the corner stall to purchase something we call breakfast. Do we know what we are eating and from whom? How did they prepare this? Is their place sanitary? Do they observe the rules of hygiene? Can they really cook? Do they take their time to balance the ingredients they put in the stuff that you eat, which your ignorance tells you tastes good, causing you to enjoy and go back for more? What about if they are MSG champions? And they are in the habit of lacing their food with MSG for the craving that you have for the enjoyment of their food, which can only kill you, raise your pressure, mash up your cholesterol levels, damage your heart, your liver, and then eventually one day you eating one of those tasty rotis or whatever it is from the side of the road, and boom, your pressure gone mad and you're dead. Folks, you complaining you don't have money, you complaining things bad, you complaining the cost of living, but you want to sleep on to the brink of getting up. Some of you sleep on the brink of getting up, and I'm sure you ain't even had time to bathe before you go to work in the day, because you're on your cell phone, LOLing and supping all in the wee hours of the morning, involved in non-productive activities. And work must pay for that the next day. You're yawning, you're lazy, you're not in the mood, but you want your salary though. And you even want to increase. But if you don't order your life, you must be broke. Because it costs money to buy breakfast every day at the corner stall. It costs money to go out and buy this little box of MSG that you don't even know if it is prepared in a hygienic situation. Folks, you have to start to use your head, and stop using your kidneys. A lot of the people that are complaining today have no goddamn right to complain. They just need to reorder their lives. Reorder your lives. Put some structure to your life. A couple of weeks ago, I told you about Sam Walton, the founder and owner of Walmart. When the Deep Depression was going on, the Great Depression, in the United States was going on in the 1930s, he was interviewed and asked, how is the crisis? How is the depression? He said, crisis, depression? I'm not participating. Folks, what does that mean? Mr. Walton knew what he needed to do to sidestep the crisis and the depression absorbing him. Some of you don't want to change your lifestyle. You're working for the same little kakada. We are a consuming economy. All we do is buy from outside, import. If we are importing, we cannot control the price. So therefore, we must know that the price has gone up. Look, someone was telling me recently they used to send 1,000 US every 4 or 5 months to relatives in the United States to buy stuff for them, and would have given them a fair deal of stuff. Now they have to send 2,000. What does that mean? Everything has gone up 100%. So picture yourself importing these things to Grenada, and the customs were to charge you the correct duties for their imports. The price must go up locally. And then you hear fools talking about government must ease up the duties. And when they ease up the duties, how are they going to pay their workers? How are they going to pave the roads? Our people need to make the shift. We need to balance our budgets. We need to put some structure in our lives. We need to cut out the fets. We need to put some priorities. We need to sell one cell phone. We don't need two. One mouth we have. And only one air we could put it in at a time. Hello? I mean, many people you find they cannot afford one, not even to put data and what you call it on top up. Huh? But they have two. And they are what you call Wi-Fi zombies. Wi-Fi zombies. We need to prioritize, folks. We have to take time to understand life. And then and only then we will be able to truly take care of ourselves. Focusing on self is not selfish. It is wisdom. Let me just share with you the unforgiving equation. Time plus weakness equals oblivion. You will find yourself in oblivion. But time plus wisdom equals to legacy. You don't get to choose whether time passes, only whether it promotes you or buries you. Educate yourself in the meantime so that you can conquer it with wisdom. What about your 3 commandments? Folks, the first one, observe or die. The battlefield rewards the watcher who truly pays attention. Before Rome fell, its emperors partied while Goths studied their wars. Now Rome is rubble and Goths rule the earth as modern Europeans. The same can be said for our local experience here between 1995 and 2022 for the most part. Before that old nastiness fell, he and his vote farm followers, the needy, greedy, and vultures, partied and had a great time on the largesse of the national treasury. Because they were not educated enough to save and conserve, in anticipation of their current state, that they will one day not have the opportunity that they were enjoying, when the rookies defeated him and his goons in June of 2022, they are today bawling that they are seeing trouble. And the new sheriff in town does not seem to care. Well, let the old sheriff care, because is he that have among you so? The second commandment. Pressure test everything. You see, your plan means nothing until reality spars with it. Kobe shot 800 jumpers daily because game winners demand brutal rehearsals. And the third commandment. Hunt weakness like predators hunt prey. Your laziness, a wolf pack. Your distractions, hyena circling. Execute them before they feast on your potential. You see, the wanton laziness of a large swath of our people will continue to be the death of them, all in quick succession. All of them. Many of them are dead while appearing to be still alive only because they could still move, but are never interested in moving in the right direction with their lives. Folks, let's pay attention to the wisdom armory. Sun Tzu's nuclear option: win without fighting, sabotage competitors' supply chains, career capital, skill gaps, before they know there's a war. Come totally prepared now. Miyamoto's mindset: duel with pencils before swords, simulate life's battles via visualization and contingency plans. What about the 10x rule? Time magnifies input. Just a simple little example. 1 hour daily on Spanish equal tourist phrases. 4 hours daily equal diplomatic fluency in 18 months. But there's also time's assassin, your new enemies. You see, the yesterday ghost, it would haunt you with past failures to sabotage present focus. Bury it with data. Track progress hourly. What about the mirage hustle? Busy work disguised as productivity. Audit tasks weekly. If it doesn't build power or wealth, never mind how much you love it, delete it completely, because it is a waste of time. The comfort trap. Your couch is a quicksand pit. Rewire dopamine. Replace Netflix with skill drills using the 20-minute rule. Suffer first, then reap rewards. Your personal time machine, folks, is important. Reverse engineer sort of greatness. Study obituaries of legends. What did they master by your current age? Look at the musician. Beethoven was deaf and composing masterpieces at 46. Your excuses are invalid. What about the 5 a.m. war room? 90 minutes of undisturbed strategy. At 8 hours of distraction reactivity. You see, I want you to use this template. We talk about 90 minutes, use this template. 15 minutes, Intel review. Journal yesterday's lessons. Spend the first 15 minutes doing that. The next 45 minutes, skill drills, deliberate practice. No autopilot thing, deliberate practice. And the final 30 minutes of those 90 minutes, strategic strike. Execute one high-value task before the world wakes. Get yourself in the habit of waking up early. People shout and scream when I tell them I go to bed very early every night. What? You're a foul. But my habits contribute to my standard of living and quality of life. I don't have to walk down the road to get to the main road to take a bus. Am I making any sense, folks? You see that level of discipline? It has provided for me the necessary conveniences. And I like the conveniences so much that I'm continuing to exercise the discipline. You see, too many of us don't know the value of sleep to buttressing our health. And as a result, we feel it's something we could sacrifice. And that is why so many people are falling down, butup, 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 because their heart weak. The system just can't carry them anymore because they are not well rested people. They're behaving as if, they're in a hurry to go and meet their maker. Oh no. Folks, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. And you know what is interesting? You're not going to bed early to rise early to become wealthy, It just naturally happens. And what is wealth? Wealth is relative, folks. Because what I might be satisfied with, you may not be. And that is why we have so many thieves around. Because they just can't be satisfied. And then they get themselves in a warp. They're going around in circles. Because the more they thief, the more they find things to thief. I'm saying to steal, because people have missed the mark when you say steal. To thief. And that's what we have. We have a lot of thieves in Grenada today. And then some of them thieving from themselves, and they don't even realize it. They don't even realize they're thieving themselves. It's sad. Very, very sad. But anyhow, we have to watch our future self-warfare, folks. Couldn't we write letters from our 80-year-old self from that point of view? What regrets will scream at us? It is time for us to install the safeguards now. You see, time's verdict is final. No appeals, no retries. The weak beg for more hours, while the wise engrave their names on centuries. Your existence is a single spark, while you fade into darkness or ignite a fire that outshines the sun. The clock's hands are blades. Wield wisdom or bleed out, but you must do the choosing. I want to remind you, folks, time is ticking. Glory is waiting. It is time to make your move. So you see, time destroys the weak. Win with wisdom, not war. Not war, folks. Let's take a very, very meaningful break here now, and we'll come right back with more.
Want to stay informed, get educated, and feel empowered? Stay tuned, where information is power.
Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
This is Edification, made possible by the efforts of the Center for Democracy and Good Governance, CDGG. The strength of views and opinions expressed during edification are not necessarily a reflection or representation of the sponsors and/or affiliates of this program.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're tuned to Eddie Frederick, where information is power.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Wonderful, folks, wonderful. So it's now time for our third segment, and you realize this is going good so far. It's probably going to be a little shorter this week because I have some things that I must attend to immediately after this. But nonetheless, you will still get quality. Very, very important. So welcome back. And for those of you just joining, because you're a little bit late, remember to take your place at the back of the class. But it's better late than dead on time. We're happy to have you. You can always go back and view what you missed. Apart from that, do the honorable thing. Hit that share button and let's get some more people involved in today's edition. Folks, we want to get a little bit more pointed here. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell of Grenada operates with a strategic wisdom-first approach that mirrors the core philosophy of this mantra: how time destroys the weak, necessitating us to win with wisdom, not war. We will see that this really does align with Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell's leadership. Here's how his leadership style embodies the principles of outthinking challenges rather than overpowering them. You see, a seasoned attorney at a very young age and new politician, Deacon Mitchell didn't rise through aggression, but through mastery of systems, leveraging law, policy, and coalition building to ascend. Not like those he and his team replaced, who leveraged dishonesty for their whole political career. And now they are out. They are projecting all their sins on him. What was right to them when they were committing their atrocities and acts of immoral governance for all their extended time in leadership are now wrong and projected on the decent Mitchell. No wonder he does not pay them any mind, which infuriates them to no end. People close to Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell can tell you, to him, they do not exist. His head is down and doing the people's business. Folks, it's quite evident, isn't it? His 2022 election victory wasn't a war against opponents. It was a strategic dismantling of outdated political norms in Grenada, proving that time favors those who adapt. What are we seeing today? A few of those who refuse to adapt, bawling in the wilderness, all in vain, as what was replaced is never to return. Folks, you know what's coming now, eh? Hashtag Ccht gone and he not coming back. Folks, I'm feeling that in the bowels, all in the deepest part of my soul, you know. That gone and that not coming back. Come on, let me see you repeat that in the comment section. Ccht gone and he not coming back. Folks, we have a blessing for a prime minister, notwithstanding all the nonsense, all the willy gutter snipes of the society might be trying to project out there. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell's focus on sustainable development, climate resilience, and youth empowerment reflects a leader investing in time-tested strategies, not populist quick fixes. You see, populist quick fixes come with zero legacy of good repute. Ask Tropical Trump. Grenada's history of colonial exploitation and economic vulnerability demands wisdom. Deacon Mitchell's policies aim to future-proof the nation rather than engage in reactive, nonsensical battles. You see, folks, we've seen Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell operate in crisis. He operates without panic. No war, just strategy. You see, when faced with hurricanes, economic shifts, or even global instability, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell's leadership avoids knee-jerk reactions, embracing preparedness and systemic solutions. Leaders who rely on chaos or fear-mongering, they get exposed by time. Again, ask Tropical Trump. Deacon Mitchell's measured approach positions Grenada for long-term stability, even though the naysayers are screaming from the political dustbin and in many cases the lolly drain. You see, diplomatic wisdom is much better than isolationist conflict. His engagements with CARICOM, the US, and global partners show a leader who builds bridges rather than burns them, understanding that alliances outlast aggression. Even right here at home, he seeks to build bridges with the many upper-level public servants, most of whom are still loyal to the old nastiness, as if to allow their loyalty to become their prison. Small nations that pick fights get crushed. Those who leverage diplomacy, like Singapore's Lee Kuan Yew, God rest his soul, they thrive. You see, Deacon Mitchell's Grenada is playing the long game. What about authenticity as a shield against time? Iffy? Deacon Mitchell's relatable, no gimmick persona, a lawyer turned prime minister without dynastic ties, proves substance beats spectacle and show. Time forgets charlatans. It remembers truth tellers. Grenada's political past had figures who relied on patronage and rhetoric. Deacon Mitchell's authenticity resets the clock on what leadership truly means. You see the verdict? Deacon Mitchell is winning Grenada's future, not fighting its past. His modus operandi is classic wisdom over war. No wasted energy on petty political battles with irrelevant actors. Oh no, there's no time for that. No ego-driven wars against critics or rivals, many of whom the current youthful population never heard of and don't care to know. Pure focus on structural and generational change. You see, time will bury leaders who rely on force, corruption, or short-termism. Ask Tropical Trump. But those like Deacon Mitchell, though rare, who wield patience, strategy, and integrity, don't just survive time, they redefine it. Well, what's the next wisdom move Grenada should make under Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell's leadership? Climate tech? Education revolution? Relative Caribbean economic dominance? Health and wellness revolution? Interestingly, while his detractors and sore losers are mired in gutter politics, attempting to smear him, his head remains down, plotting to execute his vision for Grenada as to how he would like to see it after the next 50 years, rather than how the visionless old geezer left it mangled and disheveled from 1995 to 2022 for the most part. Folks, that hot, eh? Time destroys the weak. We want you to win with wisdom, not war, and take a cue from the best Mitchell on offer, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell. Oh God, you could imagine how many people have a hole in their soul over me saying what I'm saying here today. But guess what? Incontrovertible. They just hate who's saying it. And I love that. I love to be hated because it means I'm doing something right and I'm standing apart. Folks, we take a break here. And when we come back with a final segment, we will have what is called a juxtaposition. So you can get a comparison for you to see who is who when it comes to true and genuine leadership. Let's take a final break. And as I say, we'll come right back with some more.
Want to stay informed, get educated, and feel empowered? Stay tuned where information is power.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
This is Edification, made possible by the efforts of the Center for Democracy and Good Governance, CDGG. The strength of views and opinions expressed during edification are not necessarily a reflection or representation of the sponsors and/or affiliates of this program.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're tuned to Eddie Frederick, where information is power.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Oh, yes, folks. Yes, folks. Yes, folks. Welcome once again. And for those of you just joining for this final segment, just in time, welcome. Do the honorable thing. It's never too late to share. A juxtaposition, as I promised. Wisdom versus war. And I like to say it as it is. The demonic Mitchell's modus operandi versus the decent Deacon Mitchell's strategic reign. Time destroys the weak, folks. But how did Grenada's two Mitchells navigate it? First of all, Tropical Trump, 2013 to 2022, and Deacon Mitchell, 2022 to present, and of course, going, share a surname, but opposing philosophies on power, time, and governance. One ruled through political warfare, victimization, brute force, bearing grudges, ready to attack and bring into submission anyone who opposed him, while the other governs through systemic wisdom. Isn't that interesting? You heard? One ruled while the other governs through systemic wisdom. Political longevity versus institutional legacy. Let's just look at Tropical Trump's war tactics. Very, very interesting. Let's just look at his war tactics. Right. Good. Sorry. Survival through dominance. Held power for 23 plus years, 1995 to 2008, 2013 to 2022, via sheer political endurance, leveraging incumbency advantages, patronage, and election cycle maneuvering. He ended up pauperizing and duncifying a large swath of our population, many of whom are stuck on his vote farm, being happy to be referred to as poor and vulnerable. Weakness exploited, but time exposed his model. Absolute corruption, reliance on CBI, citizenship by investment, cash flow, having appointed a trusted bedmate as its gatekeeper, and centralized control through a whole heap of left-handers whom he appointed in strategic positions throughout the public service and security forces. Deacon Mitchell's wisdom play. Legacy through reform. Entered as an outsider lawyer, immediately targeting anti-corruption measures, youth engagement, and climate resilience, playing the 50-year game, not the 5-year election cycle. Isn't that interesting? His focus on transparency and institutional strengthening undermines the old system of strongman and strong-arm politics. But what's the verdict? The old nastiness became time's casualty. His model depended on personal control, not systems. Deacon Mitchell is time's student, building structures that outlast him. A sure way to getting Grenada back on track with its long overdue real progress. Let's look at economics. Short-term cash versus long-term growth. Tropical Trump's war economy. CBI dependence. Grenada's economy leaned heavily on selling passports, a volatile reputation-risking strategy, especially under a regime that did not care too much about proper checks and balances. Debt and disrepair. Left office with rising debt to GDP 70% plus and crumbling infrastructure. Example, St. George's Hospital, a total mess, yet complaining bitterly about the current state of the healthcare system that he presided over and mangled to where it is. A difficult place to realize any positive change in 3 short years. You really have a belly. Deacon Mitchell's wisdom economy. Diversification push. Prioritizing renewable energy, agro-processing, and tech to reduce CBI reliance. Fiscal discipline. implementing public sector reforms and anti-corruption audits to stabilize finances. Well, what's the verdict? The old nastiness has become time's victim. Short-term cash flows couldn't mask structural rot and decay. Deacon Mitchell is time's architect, rewriting Grenada's economic DNA. Governance, personal rule versus systemic reform. Tropical Trump's strong arm or strongman playbook. Centralized power. Critics correctly accused him of controlling ministries like a CEO, sidelining and marginalizing any form and level of dissent. Election first governance. Policy shifts often aligned with campaign cycles. Example, last minute infrastructure projects before elections. Deacon Mitchell's institutional wisdom. Decentralization, empowering local councils, civil society, youth voices, democratizing governance. National addresses, which were reduced to regular old talk with an old fool dressed in jacket and tie, spouting garbage and lies, are today missed by his followers who expected the decent Deacon Mitchell to follow suit. Guess what? A new sheriff in town. No more goddamn old talk and lie. Those days are over. Wean yourself from that because you're not going to get those anymore. Policy over politics. Climate resilience. Example, post-hurricanes, Ivan and Beryl reforms, and education overhaul signal long-term and the long game thinking. But what's the verdict here? Tropical Trump is nothing but time's prey. Personalized systems collapse when the leader exits. Deacon Mitchell is to be considered time's partner. Systems governed by decent and acceptable personality. Long overdue for this gem called Grenada. Folks, we're not going back. Forward and onward, because to go back is to take this country to the dark ages. What about foreign policy? Alliances versus isolation. Tropical Trump's transactional diplomacy. China versus West balancing act. Played geopolitical chess, switching recognition between Taiwan and China for aid and investment. Getting to find out that the current China relations do not allow for no accountability when it comes to their aid and loan packages. Something missed by that administration when it comes to Taiwan's cavalier approach. What about CARICOM tensions? Occasionally clashed with regional allies over policy disputes. Deacon Mitchell's strategic diplomacy, climate leadership, positioning Grenada as a Caribbean voice for climate justice, COP28, UN advocacy. CARICOM unity, strengthening regional integration, example, joint tourism initiatives, disaster preparedness. But what's the verdict? You see, Tropical Trump learned time's footnote. Transactional ties fade with power shifts. Deacon Mitchell knows time is a diplomat, builds multilateral influence. And that is why, as a rookie, in quick time, he became so well respected and held in high regard within the region as the breath of fresh air he is to CARICOM and the OECS. But what is the final judgment, folks, of time? Tropical Trump's era. A case study in political survival, but one that left almost permanent structural vulnerabilities. Time exposed the unsustainability of his model and eclipsed him in time, never to return. Deacon Mitchell's Dawn, a laboratory of wisdom-based governance, focused on what Grenada needs in 2050, not 2025. Too short-sighted. No, he's long-sighted. What was the ultimate question? Will Grenadians reward patience over patronage? Or will time force Deacon Mitchell to compromise? I think not. Folks, God, drop a few yellow hearts in the comment section for me, man. If you believe wisdom will win, drop some yellow hearts, man. Come on, man. Do what you're supposed to do now. Let's get it on. This is not a joke. Drop some yellow hearts. I'm going to start the process. After all, we have to manifest what we deserve going forward. We have to manifest it. Drop some yellow hearts. As I prepare to conclude here today, folks, I feel it necessary for me to expound on the issue of why the chosen ones are always attacked first. Come on, keep the yellow hearts coming. Keep them coming. It's a manifestation. It's something we're sending out to the universe. Keep them coming. Why the chosen ones are always attacked first? It simply means that they are viewed as the threat. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, together with MPs Andy Williams, Ron Redhead, Delma Thomas, and of course Tevin Andrews, have been selected by the goons of the old nastiness for attacks. Why? They are seen as threats to the opposition. And if they can be maimed with all sorts of made-up old lie and old talk, why not? But they are promoted even more. They are seen as threat to the opposition. Threats. You see, the government can be conquered, and the infidels may have a chance of returning to office if these five, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, MPs Andy Williams, Ron Redhead, Delma Thomas, and Tevin Andrews can be maimed. Well, that is not to be, because the new thinking now is, these are the strong ones y'all single out. I think the others should take a hint. I say to all who are to be considered chosen ones, whether in politics or otherwise, if you've been attacked since birth, if chaos follows you, even in silence, if you've been betrayed, underestimated, broken, and given up for dead, it's not because you are cursed. It is because you are chosen. The system doesn't waste bullets on the irrelevant. The irrelevant are usually shelved, forgotten, move from here, go. And that is why Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell is not wasting time to respond to the several irrelevant elements around, seeking relevance in a place that has no room for them. No one wages war against the powerless. Only those with soul fire, strong enough to break timelines, get marked early. You see, the chosen is never attacked because of weakness. As Reverend Benton puts it, the chosen are attacked because of their activation code, visual in the astral long before their name was ever spoken. The enemy's chosen face could either be family dysfunction, mental warfare, financial famine, spiritual betrayal. They were not random. They were calculated diversions. So if you ever remember who you are, if you ever stepped fully into your sovereignty, if you ever accessed your divine authority, you wouldn't just survive this world, you will restructure it. Chosen ones are great disruptors soul architects, echoes of divine intelligence embedded in anything that which has weight and occupies space. You know what that is? Matter. Folks, the darkness saw you coming, so it moved first. That's how powerful the chosen ones are. So here's the truth they fear most. Attacks sharpen kings. Warfare makes queens. And pressure doesn't destroy diamonds. It reveals them. The chosen ones are not victims. They are weapons of light, forged with fire, sent on a mission, surrounded by watchers and backed by the universal source. So the next time you're attacked, why is your life so hard, you may ask? Hell no, don't ask that. Look, whoever is asking you that idiot within you, look them straight in the eye and say, because I am the threat, because I carry the code, because I am chosen one. And now I remember. I need them to attack me and focus on me as they are attesting to the fact that I am chosen indeed. So I want you to remember, time destroys the weak. Please win with wisdom, not war. These days, I don't know, God has been granting me immense favor. I hardly go out. I hardly engage. I don't socialize at all. And interestingly, the few engagements that I may have, the few goings out that I may, get involved in, I am getting, it's very regular these days, people are coming up to me to tell me about the impact I am having on their lives. In these times when alternative thinking is sought, folks, that's God's favor. They humble me. A lot of people don't realize how much when you pull back and you become a recluse, how much in touch you become with your emotions. I feel overwhelmed at times by the number of people, the regularity with which it's happening. It's not happening with a lot of people, no, because I'm never in a crowd. But God will put it in their heart to single them out, to come to me, to say what a blessing you are to me, Mr. Frederick. Folks, I really feel blessed. Because you see, God did not bless us with what he blessed us with, intellect, intelligence, education, for us to hoard. He gave us these blessings to share, and to share we must. Last week I got 2 notes. I chose 2 notes because I get them regularly, as I say. I chose 2 to share. I deleted one, well, not deleted, deferred one today, but I'll share one with you. Dear Mr. Eddie, of course, when people call me Mr. Eddie, I feel it's like a bit of humor. I don't feel good whenever I miss your lives. In fact, I am really thankful for the archival abilities of both Facebook and YouTube. So when I'm not able to view you live, I can leisurely do so at my convenience. Your clarity comes from a place of your consistent concern for the people of Grenada. Even without you mentioning you were a teacher, anyone can deduce that you must have been a teacher who missed his calling. I recall being at the GBSS during the 1979 to 81 period, when you were one of the several IFE students who accepted the challenge to teach on the side when there was a teacher crisis at our school. You spent a whole year with us, at which time I was informed too. Your classes were always entertaining and lively. When you moved out and we heard that you were at the convent, we had our regrets because you really made literature, history, and geography come to life. The penny dropped some time ago when you mentioned that the late George Brizan was your most impactful teacher in your secondary education experience, even though you only spent 1 year with him. I remember you saying he brought West Indian history to life, and I saw you taking a page from his book. As far back as then, you had an introductory impact on my education. And later on, when you proceeded to do your radio programs, especially as controversial as you have consistently been, always daring to go where others fear. I agree with you that no one can ever challenge what you say, as everything is based on research and well tested. What they will always have a problem with is you, the person who is so bold enough to be saying all that you bravely ventilate. Grenada is lucky to have someone like you alive and courageous enough to keep leaders honest with your usual pushbacks. You are hard to match indeed, as it takes a special person to do what you do. I really believe that you are not on the market for friends in truth. To talk about you is to waste one's time, as you really don't care what is said about you at all. And God knows lots are said. Interestingly, anyone with a modicum of sense just has to pay attention to who are doing the saying, and they will surely realize that they cannot be taken seriously. If you were to be tempted to take yourself for granted, Mr. Frederick, please don't. You are an inspiration to many, trust me. You have an eye for the potential in people, and your pearls of wisdom, together with your admonition and advice, which you deliver as straight up, is usually without prejudice. Thanks for having believed in me to the point where I continue to proceed to do my best. Thanks for standing in the gap and always available to provide advice and counsel whenever called upon, even as busy as you usually are. You are too much of an uncelebrated national treasure. Keep on being who you are, for what we see is really what we get. And folks, coming from this person, that's the end of it. I must accept with open arms and simply say, thanks. Thanks, thanks. Folks, I'm in, I'm out, and I'm gone. Thanks for joining. Continue to share. See you next week at the same time and same place for more extraordinary programming. Until then, stay safe, stay well, remain vigilant, stay lifted, and importantly, stay focused. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Type in my name, Edward or Eddie Frederick. Subscribe, like, and share. And be prepared to receive your mental multivitamins as straight up as I deliver them. Folks, have a lovely week. Whatever you do this week, remember to be productive and do it for Grenada. Toodaloo. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Want to stay informed, get educated, and feel empowered? Stay tuned where information is power.
Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
This has been Edification, made possible by the efforts of the Center for Democracy and Good Governance, CDGG. The Center for Democracy and Good Governance is a sound organization established to promote and strengthen democracy.
I want the best for my family, so every meal has to be perfect. Every bite has to say, There's no doubt in my mind that the best in frozen meats and vegetables has to come from the Country Cold Store. Hams, turkeys, sausages, beef, pork, chicken. I just don't know my family is in safe hands. Thank you, Country Cold Store, for being there for us for the past 40 years.
There are some interesting specials available at Country Cold Store's Mini Mart while stocks last. Take advantage of these specials as they assist you to stretch your limited funds.
The Country Cool Store, providing the best in frozen meats and vegetables since 1969.
Need a personal integrity booster shot? Your prescription is right here. Tune in with Eddie Frederick every week. Information is power.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure, you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. If you think training is expensive, try not training and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.